Alright, so pretty much my approach, of course, I'm the fund development chair, I'm the fundraising chair. Our biggest opportunity is, of course, seeking our partners in the community and going, meeting with them. You know how that goes. But we are working on a couple events. Our most, the event that's coming up is the one in May, which Vice President Brian and I actually met about, and we are working on that together. So how many of us, when we came out of college, or not even necessarily came out of college, how many of us have been looking for a job and don't necessarily get the responses that we want? Right? You know, how many of us get to an interview and feel like, man, I stumped that one?
Y'all mighty shy.
So we are definitely working on an event in May to actually, you know, get some HR people involved. You know, Alexander Eaton, you know, someone of that stature to come in and do some type of YP packaging. We'll have an HR person coming and speaking on the do's and don'ts of, you know, what they look for when they're looking to hire somebody. Because, you know, if you're looking to work at a corporation, how many resumes do they see? You know, so what's going to make your resume stand out? So we definitely want to get someone involved like that to give us the insight so that we can share with you all. Any questions? That's pretty much all I have for you. But if you know of a company or someone that would definitely be interested in partnering with Herbally, let me know. All I need is their name and number, and I will do the rest.
Sure.
I'm sorry.
Yes, Chair Herrera, what's on the podium?
Oh, I was gonna get to that.
You said that's all you had.
Yeah, you said
Well, as far as that,
All right,
and also, since he was talking about our 10 years, so we definitely want to increase our brand awareness in the community. And one of the easiest ways to do it is, of course, with paraphernalia, with swag. So we are selling T-shirts. I'm sorry. You know I'm short, man.
You want me to hold one for you while you're talking?
Go hold one
let's
for
do
me.
both of them at the same time.
See, that's teamwork. It makes the dream work.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, so we got the VOYP T-shirt, of course. That's our logo. That's our brand. That speaks volume. And then we got the 10-year T-shirt. So if you are interested in purchasing one, see me after the meeting. Yeah, I'll tell you. In screen print.
And they will be in screen print. How much do they cost?
Dwayne's
$10.
$10, and they will be in screen print. So,
Any questions?
just see Gilberto with size and.
No, don't tell them if they want one. That's our fundraiser.
That's right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the way-
And I'm in sales, my bad. I'm using that word.
I'm just feeding off your needs.
He said using doubt words.
Yeah,
No,
that's a that word.
never that.
We're ordering the shirts, they're not already
We
here.
are pre-ordering them.
Oh, okay.
Those are the mock-up sample shirts, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
just a sample shirt we got. Put up. Yes, sir.
I wanted to add a comment to the last topic Roberto was speaking about regarding being able to have the information and know how to go about getting hired. I believe it's important for all of the members of the Urban League Young Professionals as they go out to their own individual jobs to remember that they're also representatives. And when they have opportunities to make suggestions and present ideas to the larger bodies, particularly when it comes to employment decisions or employing other people, make sure that we also keep in mind that we have an organization here which these corporations or these businesses can pull from, and then be that voice for the YP community in your respective jobs by just simply pointing back and saying, you know, hey, if you all are considering looking for candidates of particular demographic or what have you, we have the Urban League Young Professionals. I remember years ago that, you know, when certain organizations, they want a certain representation, they would look to this organization. But I believe it's important in the effort to support what Gilberto is promoting and Mr. Rice is promoting, is to extend that type of mechanism to job opportunities for the other members as well. So that's just a thought I had. I felt like it was important to share.
there you go, from one of the family members.
Wasn't fine. I was there early on.
He's an early adapter. That's what they call that.
All right, well, if there's not any questions, I'll turn it back over to you, sir.
Thank you, Chair Rivera. I failed, I made a typo in there. Our Chair for Professional Development, Mr. Dwayne Golson. Okay. How everybody doing? All right, great. For professional development, basically build the community by building better people. First, we met, I have 2 other people that's working with me. One of them's not even a member, so we need more members, at least 4 more dedicated people. Please see me. But this is what we got lined up so far. A resource database. If I was looking to buy a house, I would see Shalonda or either McQuaylon. I know there's other real estate people in there, but I don't know that. Or if I need something sold, I'm sorry, I butchered your name.
But he knew it was me though. That's the important thing. That's that brand awareness.
I knew it was you. If I need something sold, I would find Gilberto because he ain't afraid to cold call. And if I need something on current events or something in the community, I would talk to Sean or either Tony. But the point is nobody in this room knows that because it's never been put together. So one idea I propose is for us to have a Google Drive spreadsheet available for members only. So if you need something, basically you can hit that link or either get with somebody and get information from that spreadsheet to connect with people in this room because everybody's not a social person. There are some people in this room that will just come to the meeting and sit here, but if they need something, they'll go to that spreadsheet. And that's a value-added benefit that we can offer to our members if we can get off the ground. The second thing that was brought up is, we thought about was public speaking. It's a statistic, I think it says that something like most people would rather die. I think it's 75% of people would rather die than give a speech in front of an audience of 10,000 or more. I'm not one of those people. But one thing we want to try to offer is like a Toastmasters style speaking forum for people to come develop their speaking skills. There used to be one in this area, but the members all retired or passed away, and that just wasn't kept up. So basically, I'm a little awkward, y'all, but I get my point across.
But that doesn't mean you gonna.
Hard to look for.
But that don't mean you gonna die. That's what that means. That's what you mean to say.
Y'all need to work with me if you join my committee. Okay, so the thing is we would offer that to all young professionals in the city, not just members. So, that's the way to get our name out here. Hey, I got a speech I need to practice or a presentation I need to practice. Let me get with Camonte, Dwayne, or Brian and see can I schedule some time to give like my 15-minute summary of my speech, and then we offer positive criticism after that. Positive criticism. Okay, and we also talked about going into multiple times to meet just for working days for ideas such as that and Mr. Gilberto's idea as well. And the last thing is entrepreneurship. We want to create another database just for that. That's going to have live, updated content, not something we post and it never gets updated again. So if you got web skills or you've done that type of thing, please see me. Other than that, does anybody have any questions? All right, God bless y'all.
But I'm going to add a little bit more detail to that. On the entrepreneurship side, in our first meeting of this year, we did something on entrepreneurship. And there was a lot of questions that came out of that meeting. How do we learn about groups that, to help us with business plans? How do we learn about planning commission meetings, that take place in the city? How do we learn about different organizations in the city that can help us grow our own business or start a business? So we're going to answer those questions, and we're going to bring those back to us. For other groups, and we're going to need probably between 3 and 4 people to help us build this content. We all need to learn entrepreneurship, but we want to build it out with that team, and then we'll bring it out back to the group. I just want to add to that.
Black capitalism.
That's it on entrepreneurship.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Chair goes. All right, now we'll move on to the president report. And before we get in that, I would like to bring up, we have a guest speaker. Mr. Barnett Wright from the Birmingham Times Media Group. Come on down.
So I'll be very brief. I worked at the BirminghamNewsL.com for 15 years, and I'm now at the Birmingham Times, and I began 3 weeks ago. What I hear in this room is our mission now is what we're going to try to do. I've covered a lot of meetings. This is one of the more impressive gatherings that I've attended. In our paper today, we have, and this is our mission in the area we're trying to go in. We have a story about a literacy program to help boost 4th grade reading in 5 schools. This is what I'm hearing in this room. This is how people can get involved with help 4th graders read. A lot of people aren't thinking about children in the schools. I hear about volunteerism here. This is what this newspaper needs to do. We also have a story in today's paper about a 12 and under girls dream team. And we went out to a rec center with the children, boys and girls, and we had them playing basketball, doing something constructive. The unfortunate thing about our community is if you go online here, and we talked about this, you see crime. If you look at the websites, all you see is shootings in Birmingham. You don't see children playing basketball trying to do something constructive. You don't see men and women trying and volunteering to do something in the community unless you come to meetings like this. My job is to publicize the positive that's going on in Birmingham and to talk about what you are doing. You are here because you care. And nobody's going to talk about that except us. We have a responsibility to do that. And we can't do it just on print because, as Mr. Sigler said, it has to be on social media. And this gentleman, who I think he just left, but one of the things we have to do is we have to recruit, and I spoke to Mr. Sigler, who do you know who can help us with our social media campaign? Because it's my job to pave the way for somebody in this room to become the media person in this community. So my first question was, give me some names. I have his card right here.
I got a name for him too.
He has a name for him. So I said I would be brief. I'm going to close on this. Another thing that I've been very proud of is we've been running a Black History Month timeline. And yes, we love Black history. From the 1900s all the way up to present, 4-part series. Noteworthy contribution by African Americans. And no one person can do this by themselves. And I'm going to need your help. I'm going to do my part. This newspaper is going to cover the great work that each and every one of you are doing. I promise you that. We've already started. I just didn't know it was going to be this organization. So God leads us in different directions. I'm here. And the next time you meet, you will have a conversation that the Birmingham Times has covered some of the events. And I hear the events that's coming up. We will be there. Thank you. Any questions?
If I want to receive the Birmingham Times, how do I sign up to get a subscription? Or
You can call me. I have all my contact information about how you can get me. Somebody talked about writing press releases. Okay, you have an opportunity now. Don't blow it. You have an opportunity to write, okay, to contribute. Okay, I'm opening up the doors. If you want to write articles, if you want to write essays, if you want to blog, if you want to write opinion pieces, Mr. Sigler will have my contact information. And anybody who wants to do press releases and journalism, please get in contact with me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. he hit the nail on the head. You know, all day through our feed and timeline, if you go to certain websites, what do you see? You know, you wake up in the morning, turn on the news, see the weather, what do you see? You know, you wake up and grab your phone and you hit that Facebook or Twitter, what do you see? So surely, we're not only good at killing and stealing, you know, as in our race. We bring some value somewhere to someone, you know, so thank you for, you know, giving us the opportunity for you to come out and speak. And thank you for your organization to give us a platform to get our word out,
Absolutely.
to allow individuals to see that Birmingham is just not a, you know, seek, kill, and destroy city. Do we have a lot of strides to make? Surely we do. You know, but are we the worst? No, we're not. You know, and I don't want to compare deaths, but you know, read Chicago's newspaper. You know, New York. You know, there are 20 killings a day. You know, and again, I'm not trying to compare that, but my point is, you know, oftentimes we can be made out to be the worst there is, and that's far from the truth. You know. Any other questions for Mr. Wright? All right. Now I would like to bring up someone. She's the Senior Director of Advocacy for the National Urban League Young Professionals. She's on the national board. She started right here in this room. Ms. Tony Wiley, she has some things to discuss about advocacy and the direction that our chapter will be moving in.
That's my classmate. She a Charger Ram.
Thank you, sir, and talk about tough acts to follow. But I do come with greetings from the National Executive Leadership Team and good news. If you've been plugged in to what we've been doing nationally, you'll see that our president has met with a presidential candidate this week. Also, the current sitting president he met with today to discuss Black Lives Matter issues. So we are making moves throughout the country, and Birmingham is not going to be any exception in that. So I'm very excited that to be here in this role in this chapter. First thing I want to tell you about is we do now have a civic engagement committee, and our very own Ashley Newton is going to be leading that.
Yay, Ashley.
Congratulations. I will tell you, I started here about 6 years ago, and Ashley was there when I started. She was the youngest person in the room there, and also probably the most senior member of the Birmingham Urban League Young Professionals. So you have a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of commitment to this movement in Ashley. So if you don't know her, please get to know her and please support her in her role, because we have a lot of work to do in the realm of advocacy. Second thing I want to bring up is something that's near and dear to my heart, and it's the reason why I decided to take on this humongous task of being a national chair of advocacy, and that is for our Get Out the Vote campaign. That's going to be my baby. We are going to do something that we don't quite often do as young professionals, which is get from behind our computer screens, stop tweeting and reposting things, and get out into our community and reach those people who politicians don't go to, who other organizations don't pay attention to, and show them that they are important to our vote. So that's going to be the basis of our advocacy campaign for GOTV as a grassroots effort. Thirdly, I want to talk about one thing you'll learn if you're new to the Urban League is that we have conferences. That's one of our greatest networking opportunities and information sharing opportunities. And our first conference of the year is the Legislative Policy Conference. And we call it LPC. It's held every spring in Washington, D.C. And it's going to be May 17th through the 19th. So we really want everybody to be there. This is where you get your information about what's going on nationally, what policies are in the legislature, where we stand, who's voting for what, and we also get a seat at the table. We also released the State of the Black America report, which gives all of our legislators an idea of the state of Black America in our inner cities, how we're doing with healthcare, education, housing, jobs, and social justice issues. So you want to be there to get that information and also to interact with people who are making the policies. So again, that's May 17th through the 19th. And we also want you to think about hotels, things like that getting there. We want everyone to be involved in that. That's a great conference. So that's basically all I want to talk about today. I know we're going to be talking about some more specific things to Alabama, to Birmingham in particular. I'm going to be working with Ashley and her team, so if you're interested in doing advocacy work, policy structuring, going out to the community, getting together grassroots campaigns, please speak with Ashley after the meeting, give her your contact information. She's going to have a meeting that's going to be scheduled for next week, February 23rd, which I think is a Tuesday.
Tuesday night at 8 p.m.
At 8 p.m. So please try to make that if you're interested. I will try to hop on. I have about 2 calls that day for advocacy at the national level, but I will try to hop on because it's very important to me about getting people involved and engaged in what's going on here in Birmingham. So that's all I have for today. Does anyone have any questions for me?
You did a good job.
Thank you.
You're good.
Thank you, Tony. While it's on my mind for individuals, which I'm sure that's entirely that's on Facebook, if you go to the National Urban League Young Professionals and like the page, you can really get a broad spectrum of exactly what we do from a national level. I think today, President Clanton, he's the president of the National Urban League YP. He's actually right now in D.C. at the White House with a meeting with the president, I think Hillary Clinton, and
Earlier this week, yep.
so that's just to kind of circle of people when you get to a certain point. Now, we're not at Tony's point yet, but you just kind of get a chance to interact with it. Just to kind of let you know, but it's a good organization, but it's an open group, it's not closed, so if you go to the page on Facebook, like it, you can just kind of keep up with the movement and some of the things that we're doing. As we move on, just kind of want to touch briefly on the Summit Club event that we had on the 29th, I think, of January. It was an awesome event. Hopefully everyone had a great time. Again, that's just the starters for this year. We have some other events planned. We're looking at doing some socials in the Uptown area for members, non-members as well. Also events here, and also we're looking at during our meetings or after our meetings, kind of creating some type of social. Now, we're not going to make it a party event for, the Urban League is not going to be known as the party group. But my point is, when we come out and meet, we want to have fun, but we also want to balance it with work and giving back 110% our commitment time through volunteering for whatever we can do. Again, I know everyone is not going to make it to everything. Tony made it so simple to go to D.C. in May. Just get a hotel room, just get a flight, and, just take off for 3 days and go back. Nah. But it's an awesome event. You get to learn a lot. I mean, honestly, once I got really, really entrenched with the Urban League, I really was surprised to find out how much I did not know about what's going on around me. I just even here local with state laws, and I hope I don't step on any toes, but with the State House, killing, Birmingham from setting a minimum, well, a city from setting a minimum wage. Hopefully everyone in here, or if it is someone in here that's making minimum wage, or we're not at it. But my point of all that is, it's just kind of ironic, when certain segment of people do certain things, it's about following the Constitution and don't be too big as a government. And then when another segment of people try to do it, now we're going to 180 these things. Whether it's appoint a judge, which by Constitution he has to do that, but they're already saying, I'm going to block it. We don't even know who it is. I'm just going to block it. I'm going to block it. I don't care if it's my mom. I'm going to block it. To me, that, and I'm not, hopefully not stepping on any toes. It's not about a party line. But my point of it is, these political games are played at our expense. And we're not even at the table. We're not trying to be at the table. And we don't care to know. We just think it's okay because my household is okay. And that's far from the truth. My household can be fine. But if my neighbor is hurting, he's going to eventually do something because, let's be honest, we're built to survive. We're going to start robbing, taking. If I see you got it, I need it, I don't have it, my kids are hungry, I'm going to go over your house and take yours. That's kind of the mindset, unfortunately. My point of all this is we need to pay close attention to what is going on, not just around us, because the picture is so much bigger than the Birmingham Urban League. That's one thing I commend Tony for from a national standpoint. They're at the White House. You know, they you know, going to, I know we have some plan here to go to Montgomery, I think, you know, to go to the Capitol. Those are the things that's important. Because as long as we continue to sit back and not be at the table, laws will continue to be passed, bills will be passed, laws will be made, that's gonna affect us the most, and we don't even have any say-so in it. You know, same thing with voting. It's not about, you know, I'm happy, I was happy that we got our first black president, but the reality of it is, my senators and congress people and my mayor and my governor, that's who's gonna affect me the most. You know, federal laws, that's great, but your state laws, your local laws, your city laws, those are the things that impact your day-to-day living, whether it's through your paycheck, whether it's through services, or whether it's through laws. You know, so let's try our best. I know we've hit you all with a lot of information, sign up for this, sign up for that, but we're going to, Vice President Bryan will speak up in closing, and we're gonna pass everyone out one of these. Basically what this is a survey, and it's just to kind of pique your interest. You know, you may not be interested in anything, you know, but my point is we want everyone to not just be a paid member, not just to come out here and show up, but we want you to be a part. We want you to, you know, we want you to be heard. And to me, that's what it's all about, because if I join an organization that I have to stay mute on and come in once a month and hear somebody tell me what we're gonna do, that's not even fun. But if I can come to the table, like we just got through discussing, and say, hey, I think the Urban League should look at this, or I think President Kelly should think about doing it this way. Those are some things that your voice can be heard, we can look at doing it. So at this point, at this time, I'm sorry, I'll bring Vice President Bryan up. There's no question, I'm sorry, question.
I see you had something about the A.G. Gaston
Oh, I'm
conference.
sorry. Man, I'm forgetting everything. Come on, my age. All right. For those of y'all who did not have the time, a chance to go out to that Dr. A.G. Gaston conference on Tuesday and Wednesday. It was awesome. I had a chance to meet, for those of you all who don't know who Mark Morial is, he's actually the CEO of the National Urban League, which is our affiliate. All right, Mark Morial, I had an opportunity to meet with him. He spoke. He's a very, very, very educated and sharp guy. The AG Gaston conference as a whole was awesome. Again, I found out what I really didn't know. You know, sitting in there with other professionals, other organizations, and also listening to some of the speakers. And one speaker that stuck out to me the most, Dr. Kimbrough. He spoke on yesterday. He's a professor from the Atlanta area, I believe. And he talked about some of the same things we talk about here. Entrepreneurship, ways for us to, you know, get ahead, educate ourselves. A lot of us raise our hand when Gilberto asks about the job, laws. But one thing he said that I think holds true, and a lot of times we don't like to hear that, you know, because it's easy for me to sit up here and say what Chair Bryan didn't do, or Vice President Bryan didn't do, or Gilberto did not do. But oftentimes it's hard for us to do this. And one thing that he said that really, really stuck to me, when are we as a whole will get out of the mindset of saying what the white man did. Well, I can't do this because of what the white man. And in the short version, he told us about a parable about, you know, from an excerpt from his book, where a guy, he was an alcoholic, and he had 2 kids. And one kid, of course, was an alcoholic. Fast forward, he grew up, you know, things just didn't go right. And they asked him, why are you doing this? And he said, because of the circumstances I grew up in. Well, he also had a twin brother, grew up in the same household. Daddy was always on the sofa drunk. Mom passed, single home. And he grew up to be an attorney or a lawyer or something. And they asked him, so how you become a lawyer and attorney? He said, because of the circumstances. The point of it was, one of the sons said he turned out to be an alcoholic because that's what he saw every day. So he just, you know, succumbed and said, that's what I'm going to be. That's what I'm going to do. The other son said, I'm going to be an attorney because I saw my dad being an alcoholic every day. I knew at a young age I did not want to be like him. So I decided to do something different. So in the nutshell, what I personally got out of it is, we have choices. We have to utilize those choices and not let the decision lie on someone else all the time. Now, I don't live under a rock. I know sometimes we go certain places, we're going to be blackballed. I'm just going to be realistic. But that should actually fuel our fire and not just say, well, I'm not going to go because I know they're not gonna hire me. I know they're not gonna give me an opportunity, so I'm not even gonna go over there. How do we not know? What if they do? And then when you get in, like Ed was saying, you can have an opportunity to bring others in. Mr. Wright basically stood up here and was offering jobs, just on the spot for the most part. That's what I got out of it. If you want to write, you do this. So it goes back to Ed's point. When we get in positions of whether it's power or we're the ones sitting on the other side of the desk, I'm not saying let's just target only African Americans. But my point is, let's make a difference in our community too. Let's quit saying, well, no, I'm not going to refer him because he or she make me look bad. Or what if they make you look good? Let's have faith in one another. So I'm going to end with that. I'm not going to talk you to death. And Vice President Brian, I'll let him talk you to death. I'm let him.
Yeah, I'm just gonna close it out. I don't know if Kamonte mentioned it just a little while ago. I don't know if everybody had a chance to see the sheet. But if you get a chance before you leave, please fill out the sheet. And the reason why is because if you're not involved, in anything or here, what's the chances that you're gonna come back? But if you choose something you're interested in, you choose something you're passionate about, not only do you get to work in your passion or something you're interested in, but you also get to create relationships with the other people that you're on a committee with. And just to kind of we got a lot of things coming up. And really each one of these committees need anywhere from 5 to 10 people in them. Membership by itself, just the membership side of it, needs 4 to 5 people. But then, because of the way the bylaws have been created, they are also responsible for social activities. What are we gonna do during the summertime? Or what are we gonna do next month? Are we gonna go to Your Mama's? Are we gonna have an event there? Are we gonna, go to Oak Mountain? Are we gonna, but we also gotta create social for ourselves. And we need, 4 or 5 people to help man that up. Over the last few years, what I've seen since I've been back in Birmingham, it's usually the same 12 to 15, but this year I feel like it's totally different. We got more people involved, and we won't burn them out. We won't burn you out. And that's the reason why we need everybody to be involved in something. So we got fundraising coming up. Gilberto hit on it, in May. We definitely want to do a fundraising project. But then the next one will probably be in August or October or September. Community service. At least 4 projects we're working on. And we got a lot of work to do. Civic engagement, brand new committee. It's always kind of been there, but it's always been tucked into community service. But we said, hey, let's pull it out, call it civic engagement, let's call it advocacy. And, so there are things that we specifically need to focus on, in that arena. Professional development, marketing, public relations, something we didn't even hit on today. This is our 10-year. We have a committee that's created just to plan out 10-year activities. And, so the next 45 to 60 days, we actually want to have our first, probably alumni event, but we need people to help plan that out so we don't burn out the 10 to 12 to 15 people that's doing all the work. So if you're interested in anything, I'll leave some of them over there, but I'll also put some of them over here. That way we're not all just pushed into one area. If you got any questions about anything, reach out to any one of us. And like Kamonte said earlier, usually we have a speaker that might speak for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, but we knew we had a lot of stuff to cover tonight from each committee. So it's usually a little bit different, and next time we might even have a working session. So we want to have our meetings engaged. So please sign up for something that you may be interested in or passionate about.
Any questions before we adjourn? Well, thank you all for coming out. Let's make sure we go to the National Urban League Young Professional, like it on Facebook. Also go to our site on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We did change the date to the 3rd Thursday of every month. So just keep that in mind. It's been a 3rd Wednesday for like
10 years.
9. And so it's the 3rd Thursday. Next meeting, we will have a speaker, so just follow on Facebook.
Who's the speaker going to be? Can you announce that?
Nope, we'll just make sure follow on Facebook to see who the speaker will be. Trust me, it will be another dynamic speaker, just like we've had the previous 2 speakers. And of course, I'm expecting standing room only again, so make sure you're in early, to make sure you have a comfortable seat, and you're not one of the 20 that was standing up and then get a seat, all right? So I adjourn this meeting at 6:42.